So I don't think the box matter. Okay, I'll wait for everyone to come back, and hopefully there's no echo this time. I'm feeling this vampy lip today. Put too much glue on my lash. Anyway, hopefully I can edit this beginning stuff out. Hey y'all, welcome back. Okay, let me know if there is an echo this time. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Hopefully this is better. I'm using my MacBook thing. It's better? Okay, great, great. Thank you, darling. Thank you, mother. Thank you. Okay, so I know not to use that audio again. Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna try to remember to look up at the camera because I'm using a webcam. So, all right, my fingers look so weird without nails on it. It's weird. Okay, so I'll let you guys keep flowing back in. Um and so you guys, I'm sure, know the topic of today. I'm gonna try to be quick. I'm gonna try to be on topic, say kind of what I have to say, and then like read you guys' comments and stuff. So today I want to talk about if as divested black women, American black women, if you're in America, not, I guess descendants of American chattel slavery, but also if you're a black woman in America, period, like regardless of where your native country is, but mostly divested black women too, if like non-American black men are a good option for us. So I'm going to share some of my experiences because I'm quite experienced in dating Caribbean men, in dating African men, and of course American men. American black men. We're talking about black men, not other races of men. So we're talking about if divested black women. Hey, if we're talking about if divested black women, if black men of non-American descent are viable options for us. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I know some people are talking about, of course, everyone is like discussing, not everyone, but everyone is like discussing Black women's options and things of that nature. And so I know you guys already know how I feel about, being open and not just open, but actively dating interracially as a solution to Black women's problems, one of many solutions. But I also wanted to talk specifically about, not a Black American men versus non-American Black men per se, just because we know what the deal is about American Black men. And like I said, this is basically focused on Black men. um, I'm, I'm laughing at Mother Speaks. Okay, okay. Let me stay focused. So like if they're an option. And so my thing is, I know some Black women in the YouTube, space talk about dating Black men of different ethnicities or from different places other than America. But I kind of want to put it how do I say this? So like I think the same way I'm talking to Black women that may not be American descendants of chattel slavery and this that come from us. Lord, I can't get my tongue untied. But just like I'm talking to all Black women, not just Black American women, just Black women that's in America, all of us, because we all kind of in the same boat to some degree. That's the same thing I'm talking about with American men too. So the issue isn't just it's mainly Black American men, but also when African men from whatever country in Africa, when Caribbean men come to America, they become Americanized. They kind of sort of end up having the same issues as Black America, you know? So it's like, because many sometimes you don't even know, especially if you're in places like New York City and stuff, you don't even know if these people are American or if they're Caribbean or if they're from the continent of Africa. So, but it's something about getting on this soil that kind of sort of meshes people in that way. And so, yeah. But anyway, so, I know some people are wondering if we should consider dating, Caribbean men or African men from various countries or whatever. And y'all probably already know how I feel about this. Like, I believe in having all your options. Um, However, like I said before, like I'm gonna go into a little bit of my experience. So I definitely wouldn't say, shut down every potential option. It's kind of like in life in general and like in dating, sometimes it's just like trading one thing for another. And so, you have to decipher for yourself in your own life and your own personal needs, what exactly are you willing to deal with? What exactly are you willing to compromise with? Because, unless you're marrying yourself, most of the time you're always going to find something about somebody else that you have to share space with that you don't like. However, I see some people trying to say, well, Black American men are the problem. And, just, and in some ways I do agree with that statement culturally. But also in my experience, I've dated several men from the continent of Africa, mostly Nigerian. I've dated a Haitian before. I've dated a couple Jamaicans. Uh, I've dated like Caribbean men, different, African men and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest. I do think that Black women should always have their options open, and depending on what you're looking for, then there definitely can be better. You may be able to work with them a little bit more. Okay. However, the narrative that Black American men are just, the spawn of Satan, and they're just terrible and all the way around. Some may be, but in my experience, it's not just them. I personally, I wouldn't say I'm not interested, because I do. I still have and still will, depending on who it is. I'm never going to cut off any options because they're Black, and I'm pro interracial dating. And even more so, I'm pro predominantly interracial dating. So, but that being said, I'm never going to limit my options. I'm trying to be careful about certain words that I use and the way I say things. But, you know, if I'm being honest, especially so it's like trading one thing for another, and especially when you're culturally American and culturally Black American. Sometimes I know people, because they're exposed to our culture, they think they know everything about it, and you don't. Like most other cultures, it's intricacies in our culture that you would have no idea about, unless you were actually immersed in it and grew up in it the same way. I can be exposed to cultures from other Black people of other nations, and I'm still not going to know its intricacies because I'm American. So sometimes it is easier to just deal with Black men, Black American men. Um, but it's like I said before, it's a trade-off. So we already know the issues with Black American men. They are definitely at the bottom of my list per se, but I'm gonna be honest, non American Black men, they aren't too far up the chain. They may be a notch above it. Now, I will say this. My experiences with Nigerian men specifically, I'm not a fan. Like, I would rather deal with an African American men. Now, I'm not saying that to paint every person with a broad stroke, because I really don't live by that kind of thing. But I know some people are, you got to break stuff down to them like toddlers. So, but like, I'm not a fan. Now, I have encountered and dated other men from other countries. Like I love people from the Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo. I love like people from Kenyans are super sweet. Like one of my friends from work, her husband is Kenyan. So, I get to spend time with her, her in-laws and her family and stuff. And they are hilarious. They're fun. And so I know everybody from different countries are different. And I'm not trying to say everybody is the same. Like I had a better experience with the Haitian guy. So the Haitian guy was, he was a Virgo. Like we legit had the same birthday. I absolutely cannot date another Virgo. Like I don't mind having female friends as Virgos. Like my sister is a Virgo. I have friends that's Virgos. I don't mind that. But me and Virgo men don't mesh well. Like it's the driest, most irritating relationship ever, ever. So I think fundamentally, like I would be annoyed to death with him. But as far as him being a good person, like he was really smart. He made decent money. I think he made like in the six figures. And I dated him like this was like last year. But like I said in like my last video about being single over 30, sometimes you just get comfortable. Like I like, and it's not to say I'm picky, but I know what I can deal with and what I can't deal with. And I can't deal with another Virgo man. Like, and we had the same birthday, which was already really weird. But he was a good person. He was like irritated me on like a personal level. Like he was just, and I'm not saying like all Haitian men are like this. I'm not saying that, but he kind of had his own agenda, and like he was kind of inconsiderate, not in a rude way, but like, so I met him shortly after, like maybe some months after my brother died, and my brother died in Colorado. So I have mixed emotions about Colorado. So long story short, he was asking me, y'all know, if y'all have a dated Caribbean men, I'm not saying they all like this, but sometimes they are ready to like impregnate you. They ready to get married. They don't play. And so, he was like already trying to like have me move to like another state with him. And that state was, I'm Haitian, don't try to be PC or nice. Like he was a decent dude. He would probably make a good husband. You would probably have a boring marriage. But then I'm not saying all Haitians are like that at all, but he was. And probably I'm blaming it mostly on him being a Virgo, which that's not even true, because one of my friends' boyfriends is a Virgo and he is fun. Like he is so fun to be around. But this particular guy, he was like, and like, he would like Like he wanted me to, he was like asking me if I would be willing to move to Colorado. And like, I'm like, listen, like my brother just died in Colorado, you know, somewhat due to the high altitude. That's my thinking, but whatever. But so I still have, but definitely at the time, that was maybe 4 months, 4 or 5, maybe 6 months after my brother died. And so I feel some kind of way about Colorado, especially like Denver and all those kind of places near there. So, because that's where my brother was when he died. And like, he like totally ignored what I was saying. Now, I understand he ain't your brother and you don't care. I get it. But like, he had a one track mind and he was so consumed with what he wanted that it was like, okay, this ain't gonna work. You're gonna irritate me. So that's why. So it wasn't anything. And Jamaican men, that's a whole other conversation. If you dated Jamaican men, you probably already know. So I mean, so I think in somebody said Virgo men are tough. Yeah, and Virgo women are too. I'm a very stubborn person. So it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. As much as I hate dating Geminis, because one of the Jamaican guys was Gemini. I was like only attracting Geminis at one point. It was the energy I was putting out because I was absolutely despising Gemini, so they kept coming. It was the angry energy I was putting out. But so you know, I mean, it's like you have to you really end up swapping one issue for another. So, and it depends on how those issues are apart. I do think definitely men from various countries in Africa, I do think they're more family oriented. I don't think Caribbean men are more family oriented. I don't care what anybody says. Like, and I'm not trying to act like I know every Caribbean man. Is so many different countries in the Caribbean, but Caribbean men are also known to be cheaters. They love getting women pregnant. Like, no, I'm not gonna say they'll run away like these American dudes, but so I mean, I think they're obviously, I think, a better option than especially men from Africa. And I'm not gonna pinpoint one country. I just don't like Nigerian men. Personally, from my experience, I'm not a fan. If I, you know, so yeah. No, Caribbean men is not family oriented. They cheat a lot. Yeah, and that's like, how are you family oriented if you're a cheater? I mean, some people don't care about cheating. I, to some degree, don't care about cheating. In the sense that I don't care about being in a relationship necessarily, meaning I would leave it. If you're gonna cheat on me, then just let me know. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm just gonna bounce. I like being by myself too much to deal with somebody who is putting my life, my physical person in harm's way. That's my biggest issue with it. But also, I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone who is cheating. Because just go be with that person or be single. And I think there's a lot of that going around in there. So let me see. Let me read some of y'all's comments. I'm just in favor of Black women doing whatever they want. This bright light, this ring light is making my eye water. Wait, I lost my place. Mocha mommy. I'm just in favor of Black women doing whatever they want, whomever or wherever. As long as you're happy and emotionally supported. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think Black women should actively seek out or be open to interracial dating just because most of us don't. So we need to get as comfortable with it, because it's easy to fall back into blackness, even if it's not American Black men. So just because culturally you're similar, and even if you are from different cultures, it's still easier dating a Black man that's not American if he's Black. So Maddie said, I can't stand Virgo men either, but I love to have a Virgo women as friends. I'm a Capricorn. What is Capricorn, like December to January? The end of December to January? Is that Capricorn? I'm not, yeah. Because Sagittarius is the end of November to the beginning to middle, whatever, December. I'm not interested in dating African males or Caribbean males as well. No hatred. It's just no thank you. Like, they would have to be like, I think a lot more Nigerian men have money in my experience. I dated like 2 or 3 Nigerian men. And I'm not gonna say they had money, but they had more than the average person's money. More than the average Black man's money. Let me be specific. But Black American men don't know how to treat women. Haitians and Jamaican men don't either, to be honest. Honestly, I don't agree with that. It depends on what you're talking about. You know, it's hard to say, it's hard to make broad statements like that because so many people are different. I can only speak from my experience. And on a love level, on a care and concern level, to me, in my experience, Black American men actually treated me better. Like, I felt more loved with love from them. However, what's love got to do with it if you broke? So, and that was like my issue. And it's like, it's like a culture thing. So because we're American and we've been around white people for so long, we're very westernized. We have a westernized train of thought. A lot of things are different for us than for other countries. So things that's normal here isn't normal somewhere else, and things that's normal other places aren't normal here. And so for me, I just found that maybe it's just a culturally similar. That I'm trying to figure out the words, because I've thought about this for a long time, but I can never quite find the words to explain it. But there is okay, I'll say this. There's a respect for women that you get in America that you don't get in other countries. So like, there's this kind of dismissive attitude that I gotten from Caribbean men, and also from African men too. Namely, African men too. I really experienced a lot of that with the Haitian guy, but I'm not going to blame that on all Haitians. I blame that on his personality. But as far as, especially with, again, I can only speak from my experience. So with Nigerian men and stuff like that, and it's not even that I think they're doing it to be spiteful or doing it to be, but you know, in America, especially in the Black American community, Black women are kind of like, it's a matriarchy. I'll say that. It's a matriarchy in the subculture of Black Americanness. So we get a little bit more respect. There's a little bit more, you know, it's less dismissive on what Black women say because it's kind of a matriarchy in the Black American community. Whereas in other communities, other, you know, nations and stuff like that, it's less. Now, again, I'm not going to say, I know I keep saying this, but I'm not going to say every Caribbean island, every Caribbean country. I'm not going to say every African country, every country in Africa, whatever. Because, like, one of my friends, grandma is the prime minister of the Bahamas. So it's not to say that women, are powerless or anything. Like, this isn't the, let me shut up. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's not to say that. It's just that it's this air, it's this energy that's really dismissive to women that I get, that I don't like, and that irritates my spirit, because I'm a wild girl at heart and I can't be tamed. And so that doesn't mesh well with my spirit. So, and that's kind of normal. That's not normal in other places. It's normal in America to like feel that kind of way. It's a matriarchy in island households. Okay, I didn't know that. I will say, if you want a generous Black guy, then your best bet is African. You will never get that from island as a whole. Yeah. So, personally for me, in the stage that I am in now, I don't care about, this is going to sound bad, but I don't care about being smitten in love and all that kind of stuff. At this point, I'm, growing to understand my divinity as a woman, my energy as a woman, my strength and my power, should I say, as a woman. And so, especially talking about legacies and my womb and all that kind of stuff in these types of conversations, like, I understand what's more so important for me. And so being loved and being smitten and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't matter. Now, I know I said earlier that I couldn't deal with the Haitian dude, even though he made a little bit more money. He was like in the six figures or whatever. But if I'm gonna be miserable, I'm not gonna do it. So there still is a line there. I still have boundaries. But at the same time, I would prefer like a man from various country in Africa or whatever, as long as they have enough money, to sustain a household and that kind of thing. I agree. I don't have to be madly in love. I also don't care about looks. Yeah, I don't really either. Like, I can be attracted to somebody that's not, classically attractive. So I'm not going to say I just like ugly people, but I can be attracted to people that's not, the standard looks of attractiveness. Like, so I don't care about looks as much, especially when it comes to, as long as I think you can make cute babies, because there's some cute men that I don't think mixed with my DNA would make cute babies. Or I don't think my DNA is strong enough to like, so yeah. So I don't really, I don't care, about looks and stuff like that. So as much, that's definitely less, that's a little bit, that's way lower on the list of things that I'm looking for. And it's not out of desperation, it's out of understanding and wisdom. So, because I could have, I could have had several six-figure guys, but if I don't like you as a human, like, if you're gonna like, it's gonna be more trouble, then I'm not gonna do it. I don't care how much money you have. But that's just me. That's just me. Let me stop playing and put my glasses on. Okay, my glasses clear, so sometimes I can't find them. I think I would rather date a Native American or Latino. I really want to date like a Hispanic man, a Latino man too. Right? I feel you. I feel you, T. That's kind of, I want my babies to speak Spanish. I want somebody to teach me how to speak Spanish. But again, I want somebody with some money. Some of them have a lot of money, but I want somebody not, you know, you don't have to be filthy rich or anything, but you know. My best advice is to develop your interest and meet a man who likes what you like. No race has the monopoly on good men. And yeah, I totally agree. So it's really, that's why I like pause a lot, because it's really like, it's hard to like say certain things because it's like not fully true. Like it's not fully true. Like, so it's hard to pinpoint. That's why I kind of like have to keep saying not all, because I want people to understand that I'm not saying all men are one way. But I haven't dated a Latino man in a while. So, but I'm not around that many Hispanic people. So it's kind of, it's way harder. And I find there's not a lot of Hispanic people on dating sites either. Now that I think about it out loud, I don't see too many Hispanic people. I see a lot of Indians. Like I get a lot of like messages and stuff from Indian men, like from India. Um and white men, of course, and black men. But it's not too many Hispanics. And I don't mind Mexicans. As long as they got enough money, I don't mind Mexicans either, because they don't play. They will take care of their children. And see, Puerto Ricans and stuff like that, it depends on where you're from. Like a lot of my family is from New York, from the Bronx, so I'm very familiar with being around Hispanics and stuff. So, but so it depends on where they're from. And like a lot of, especially the Spanish people in New York, their Spanish is a language, but you know, a lot of people, the Hispanic people in New York, especially in like places like the Bronx and stuff like that, they are kind of like black people. So it's like, you know, they're really into black culture and stuff like that. So you kind of start to get the same problems, just like how when, you know, like Caribbean people and stuff come over. And I think it's less change in, from what I've seen, in like African people, but especially Caribbeans, when Caribbeans, maybe it's because they, you know, descendants of chattel slavery too, you know, they get around Black American culture and stuff, and a lot of them were in the movements with us and interchanging back and forth. So they kind of become the same. Like they kind of morph themselves into Western culture more so than like people from various African countries. I don't know why. This is just my observation. It's not based in facts at all. So, you know. I don't do hood Hispanics. They have the same principles as black men baby mamas. Yeah. Yeah. And Hispanics is a lot of, they have a high out of wedlock birth rate too. After black people, they ain't catching up with us no time soon. But let's see, I've been up here for 33 minutes. So let me read some of y'all comments before I head up out of here. Let's see. Butterfly said, I have dated the rainbow: Asian, Indian, African, white, and black. It comes down to the man inside. The package, its character and integrity matter. Believe me, it puts him in a position of power and money. Yep, I agree. So you can never pinpoint anybody down by something as broad as the country they come from. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I really want black women to actively date interracially, to get out of our comfort zones. And also, so at the very least, you get some confidence knowing that other men of other races actually are interested in you, actually will, take you seriously and actually are attracted to you. So, but I know a lot of people think dating non-American Black men is the solution, but it's like a it's a very small part of the solution, because at the end of the day, I think Black women need to change their loyalty to Black men in general on a wide spectrum. We know everybody is not going to do it, but on a mindset level, on a psychological level, Black women need to get out of our comfort zone with dating. Now, you can be prepared, you can dip your toe in the water or whatever, but at some point get out of there, so you get out into the world, because a lot of these men don't have it together anyway. And I know people like to drag Black American men, and rightfully so, but a lot of these other countries are ravished, and it is predominantly Black. It's not predominantly white like here. So you're always going to have some problems. And then on top of that, especially in America, people get to America and then they start to end up having the same issues as Black American men, and the issues that's Black American issues. And especially with second gens and stuff, especially when third gens coming around, when, Africans that's millennials and stuff like that's having children, and they're even more morphed into American culture, like, you're going to start to see that you're not that far behind Black Americans or far ahead. Like, it only take a generation or two to start to understand what we're actually working with in this country. So, as a single woman, I was open to any man who does not have a conquered mindset. A good way to be. And pay attention to those red flags. I've Yoruba goddess says, I've nixed out specifying a culture. I'm concerned with mindset, values, and established security. Bingo. Indian men in IT chauvinistic to the max. Yeah, and most men, and I live in Raleigh, so RTP. I'm sure none of y'all know what any of this is, but it's a tech Research Triangle Park is full of tech companies, so it's a lot of Indians here, and yeah, they can be very chauvinistic. So we're gonna have problems with all men. So I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm saying that you're never gonna have problems with non-Black men, because you will. All men, but you just gotta keep going. I'm so busy talking, I ain't even drinking my wine. Let's see. There's a lot of Latinos in North Carolina. They be, yeah, but where they be at? Like, I run into I see a lot of Mexicans and stuff like that. But I know it's a lot of other Hispanic people too, from South America and different countries, but from the Caribbean and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like I don't even, it's a decent population of Africans here too. And my sister can find an African from out of thin air, and I don't know how she do it. Okay, my sister love African culture, Nigerian culture. Let me be specific. So but to me, they stay to themselves. So you have to go into, you have to be in the circle, I guess you can say. And that's kind of how I feel about Hispanic people here. Like they kind of keep to themselves. So you don't really be around them unless you're around them. I mean, that also, this is coming from somebody who barely goes anywhere, so don't listen to me. I see a lot in North Carolina, but they're married Mexicans mostly. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of Mexicans and stuff, but I don't see the Mexicans probably got some money too because like I work a corporate job, like, and they like have the Mexicans always have like contracts with, for cleaning and roofing and stuff like that. They always have then I'm pretty sure they gotta be making a lot of money. It might not be a corporate, three-piece suit kind of job, but money is money, honey. Um, as a Caribbean American, I can tell you that the men have the same number issues as Black Americans. I mean, and that's what I noticed with Caribbean men too. Like from my experience, I'll keep saying from my experience. Have you lived in Los Angeles? No, I visited Los Angeles a couple years ago. I loved LA. Oh my God. But are you saying that have I lived in Los Angeles for about the Hispanic population? I know it's a lot of them there. Like it's a lot of, I'm mostly around Hispanics when I'm in the Bronx. So, but then it's the Bronx. Like it's mostly Hispanics in the Bronx. So especially where my family live, like it's mostly Hispanic. Like it's Black and Hispanic, but you have the Indians and stuff like that. But it's a lot of Hispanics, like a lot of Puerto Ricans, a lot of Dominicans. So, but it's different in New York. Yes, Yoruba goddesses, New York Hispanic is different than LA. Because is New York Hispanic or is New York Hispanic Mexican? Predominantly. I know it's people from everywhere, but like New York Hispanics are Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Like and then um South American Hispanic people. And see, in New York, a lot of Hispanics look Black. So people think I'm Hispanic when I go to New York. Like people, like it's especially the Bronx because it's a lot of a concentrated location of Hispanics. So they speak Spanish to me because they think I know Spanish. I know a little bit, but not enough. So it's a different experience in New York and it's a lot more similar. So I'm not as interested in Hispanics from New York in that kind of like culture. Um Highest risk of problems, India, Pakistan. I mean, I don't know if I don't think I could I don't think I could on a cultural aspect. I'm here for mixing cultures. Um, I'm here for mixing cultures, but certain cultures personally for me, I don't think I could deal with like I know I said I dated an Indian guy and I don't mind dating, but he really has to have to be progressive. And he would have to come from a progressive family because I don't that like talking about traditional African family, that's something totally different. At the end of the day, I'm still technically a descendant of various countries in Africa, but So it's still different. There's always going to be similarities between Black Americans and American, Black people from the Caribbean and Africa. So that mixing those cultures are a lot easier than cultures like India, where most of us have the same religion. Most Black people from various countries have the same religion. You're either Christian or you're like, you practice Judaism or Muslim, whatever that's called. Muslim, not Judaism, but Muslim. So that's a lot easier. But India, that's a little bit different. And like, we know Asians are very, you know. So, and I've never dated a like East Asian, like a white Asian, light skin. I don't know what you call them, white Asians. But like East Asian, whatever they call it, from like China, Japan, Korea, those places. Ghanaian men were respectful, value education, and really serious about their careers. Um, One of the sweetest men I have ever met in my life was African, and I forgot what country he was from. It wasn't Ghana. Name some countries in Africa that's not Nigeria and not Ghana and not Kenya and not the Congo. Where was he from? I can never remember. But he was the sweetest person. I was so obsessed with him, like not in a like love way, but I loved him. I loved the way he said my name. No, not the Cameroon, not the Sierra Leone. Oh, I cannot remember. No, not Liberia. Oh, I don't know. I ain't gonna worry y'all with. It's closer to. I think it's closer to Nigeria. I think it's West Africa. It's West Africa. It's not. I don't think it's like near Kenya. Let me look at a map. This is gonna irritate me. I'm sorry. This is so off topic. Angola, no, not Angola, but this guy from Angola been in my DMs. He seems sweet, but no. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at a map because I always think it's Ghana, but it's not Ghana. He's married now. Moroccans are mixed, or so I heard. Yeah, I dated a Moroccan last year. Gambia, that's what it is. Brita Best. Yo, how fitting is your name right now, boo? The Gambia. That's it. Yes, that's what it is. Um, my eyelash keeps sticking. Yes, that's what it is. The Gambia or Gambia. Is it the Gambia or Gambia? Um, yeah, I dated a Moroccan. He not black. He used to get so pissed when I would say that. But Moroccans are not black. Now I don't know if they come in a variety of shades, but they are not black. He used to get so pissed at me when I would say he not black. But he's like, I'm African. I'm African. Well, I don't know how to do their accents, but I'm like, you're African, baby, but you're not black, okay? And he's like, because he spoke like three languages, none of which were any African languages. He spoke French, English, and Arabic. Okay, baby, you ain't black. I know everybody want to be black. I know you from Africa, but that's from colonization. He was very pale. But, so I've dated interracially. I'm a plus size girl, okay? I'm like a size 16, size 18, honey. Okay. If I can date interracially, you can date interracially. At least he claims he African. Most won't. And so, yeah, so he was like, I know I have a Western tainted mind, but like he would say, like, he would get so upset when people would think he was white. And I was wondering if he was trying to put on a show for me. I'm like, you don't have to, but he would like get legit upset and turn red. I'm like, first of all, you're turning red. Second of all, like he would get upset when people would think he's white because like less politically correct, let people with less class, I guess you can say, would ask him his nationality, his like race, his ethnicity. And I guess he would just tell him Moroccan or what, but he's essentially he's Arabic, and he would get really like offended, like I did never said it, so I can't say he got offended, but he would make sure to say that they're different from like Middle Eastern Arabic people. I'm like, boy, I'm sure y'all genetic makeup is the same, just like a lot of Caribbean and Black American people genetic makeup is the same as like Africans from West Africa or whatever. I'm like, it's different, but it's kind of the same too. But yeah, and he like, oh, it was very interesting. Dating him. And I'll just leave it at that. But Moroccans will always claim Africa. Yeah, he's like, I'm more African than you. You're American. I'm like, but you're not, you're African, but you're not Black. And like, I had to explain to him why he didn't come. When I first met him, he wasn't saying the N-word, and he never said it as much. But guess who gave him permission to say the N-word, y'all? Black men. So I had to teach him why it wasn't okay it wasn't okay for him to use the N-word, even though he didn't come over here using it. But I heard he said it a couple times, and I was like, whoa, buddy, let me share something with you. And I like had to explain to him like why. He's like, oh, well, you can't, like, he was inviting me to Morocco and stuff like that. He tried to paint it like it's no racism in Morocco. I said, you a lie and a half, please. But he was like, I had to tell him why. And like one of his cousins is like a rapper, and his family is really wealthy too. But and so he was inviting me to, oh, well, I'll get us tickets to go to Morocco. I was like, well, you like, I have to, because he let me listen to some of his cousin's music on YouTube. His cousin is fine too. I was like, oh, that's what they doing. And oh, Morocco, okay. But his cousin would say the N-word, and of course he had Africans in his videos and stuff, and I had to explain to him why, like, you want me to come meet your family and all that kind of stuff, but it's not okay. Like, I would be very uncomfortable if they said the N-word. So I wasn't like upset or anything, because he's not American, so he don't know. A lot of people use the word because they hear Black people use it, but they don't know the history behind it. So I had to explain to him why it would not be okay for them to say the N-word in front of me, but especially if we were ever got far enough to where you met my family. Like, there's I know people think they know everything about Black American culture, but you don't. What you see on TV is a small portion of it. So you don't see the super religious, like my family is super religious. You can't use any kind of N-word in my parents' house. Like, so so it's a lot of things. Like, not a lot. I ain't teaching nobody nothing that much, but I did tell him like why it's not okay. And he was like, oh, like, because Black men that he worked with started telling him it was okay after he told him that he's African, where Morocco is, because they probably didn't know where it was, what continent it was on. So, they gave him permission to say the N-word. I'm like, don't do it, baby. Like, okay, you down south, you might be, Raleigh is more of a city, but you go to certain places, you might not want to use that word, baby. I'm just saying, I know you African. but you ain't black and you don't come off as black. So you might not want to play with saying that word. And so after I explained it to him, he was like, oh, okay. Like, honey, let's see. But the one thing that the cultural difference that I did like with him was that he would work like he didn't play. He worked all the time, like all nonstop. And he would talk about how like lazy the black guys were that worked with him. Like they was jealous of him because like he had just got here not too long before I met him. He may have been there for like a year, a little over a year. And so he ended up becoming a supervisor or becoming, moving up quickly up the ladder or whatever. And he was like, I guess people were upset. But I like the way, things that come naturally to, men from other countries, black or otherwise, like they don't have a problem with working. Like, and it was crazy because it's a lot different. Like certain things, a lot of things I just didn't have to explain to him. Like I had to explain to him why it wasn't okay to say the N-word, but I didn't have to explain to him the duties of a man. Like he never asked me to pay for anything, like, but so it's a trade-off. They know that a man's purpose is to work and provide. Yes, and not only that, they take pride in it. They take pride in hard work and making money. And he was like, oh, well, I'm here. I'm going to make a lot of money. I guess the US dollar go far there. So he was like, I'm here to stack my money or whatever. And he was like, well, my dad is such and such and such. And, they had, I don't think I would deal with him on a couple levels, but like he was like, oh, his dad is like, because his family had money or have money, and so he's like, oh, you have a degree and all of that, like my dad could get you a job. And I'm like, my auntie, my parents gonna split their wigs if I move to another country. I mean, they can't stop me, and I do want to retire in another country, but at the same time, it's like, I guess it's an option, but men say a lot of stuff. Let's see. So yeah. Morocco is gorgeous and the men are beautiful, but definitely has racism there. Yeah, and I was like, look, if you don't stop lying, good and doggone well. I didn't say that because he wouldn't have understood what I was saying. But I was like, it's racism everywhere. I know it is. I know it is. Like, you're in an African country that was probably centuries ago, was probably all black. It's some racism there because y'all done wiped out the blackness that's in that country. Please. So I would have to really prepare myself for that. And a lot, again, because I'm from the West, there are certain things that would offend me that they probably don't even know would offend me. So I would have to get my whole life before I go. So, let's see. I have a friend who loves her some white dusty men. She replaced one with another, so you never know. I get real choked up in the throat on dust. I can't. Greek men are just as rich and core value like black women. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get snatched, because I'm trying to date the globe. But they got to let us out the house first. What are UK men like? The black girls in the UK, you know, they been dating interracially. Everybody date interracially over there. I would love to retire in Thailand. My cousin moved to Bali and he ain't come back as of yet. It's probably nice over there. Honestly, I want to retire in the Caribbean. I don't want to go nowhere too far. I want to either retire in the Caribbean or in an African country. Or maybe a Spanish country because I want to, you know, be able to speak Spanish. But I'm at an hour. So, y'all, I'm about to head up out of here. I'm going to try to do more lives. So, definitely let me know some things that y'all want me to talk about. Yeah. I'm trying to go to an island that doesn't have much you know, many hurricanes and stuff, but yeah, so you know, when I post a community post or under my videos, you know, just hit me up if you want me to talk about certain things. I'm gonna try to go live once a week, or especially in the new year. I'm gonna try. I've been being pretty consistent this year, but I'm gonna try to amp up the topics that I talk about and stuff, and you know, kind of do a variety of different things to talk about or whatever. So before YouTube kick me out, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I'm gonna break up with them before they break up with me. So I love you guys. Okay. And I will see y'all. That's my egg in my exit. But yeah, so let me know and I'll see y'all later. I'll see y'all in my next video or in my next live. Toodles, darling.